Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And if you're watching this video, it's probably on Thanksgiving, but we're already getting ready for Christmas. I'm sure a lot of you are probably doing Christmas shopping, but the economy really sucks this year. Let's be honest. So we're going to talk about Thriftmas, which started, I guess, as a thing last year in Australia, but it's spreading all over the place now, which is basically you thrift your gifts and save as much money as you can.
Not a new thing. I mean, first of all, I 100% embrace Thriftmas. I also embrace making gifts for people. I think it's really nice when people make things for you, and it's looking to be a real affordable option. I've done it before. I'll talk about my stories here in a bit, but I think it's a good idea. There's nothing wrong with it. And I can tell you, because I go to like thrift stores and Goodwill and stuff all the time, I can tell you that when they have the specials, the sale days, I am seeing way more people, a lot of older people who didn't know how the store worked or what the hours were or anything, so they're new to this, showing up because and I heard them say looking for presents. So it's across the board, and there's like, if you can find stuff that's new with tags, you can find like new things. You can even find things that you could turn into other things, which we're going to talk about. But before we get into any further.
Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you're woohoo if you do.
Woohoo! I'm very excited about this.
Yeah, let's go to more.clownfishtv.com. That's more.clownfishtv.com for more Clownfish TV, for episodes and podcasts we don't post over here. You can go over there. So there you go. All right. Let's talk about why we are looking at an increase, I believe, in Thriftmas this year. A lot of people are getting laid off. A lot of people are losing their jobs.
Yes.
And it's really, really bad out there. And they're blaming AI. I think it has more to do with saving money. And we've talked about this in videos.
Well, I think they're also using AI, and they think they can just replace everybody, but they're going to find out real quick that it doesn't work. It's not there yet where you can replace everybody.
Yeah.
But they're going to, and it's all going to bite them in the ass too. Because when you don't have customers, you don't have people with money to spend money on your product, then how are you going to make? I don't care how much you save with AI, you're not going to have an audience for your product.
Right. And that is a problem when everybody's getting laid off. Nobody has a job. Nobody has money to spend. I'm seeing a definite decrease. We're talking about the advertising, stuff like that. Like they're not, these companies are not spending money on advertising. I think they know it's kind of pointless because it's like, why are you going to advertise to broke people? Right. And it sucks because a lot of these people, unfortunately, got laid off right before the holidays. But you do what you got to do. And we've been there. I got laid off, was it right before Thanksgiving the one year? That sucked.
It was like, really right before.
Freaking sucked. Happy holidays. And he told me happy holidays. I'm like, I don't get my free ham this year. What am I going to do? So let's talk about Thriftmas. And let's see, this was the last year Better Homes and Gardens was talking about. But apparently this woman, you sent me this link, she was getting slammed for buying cheap presents for her kids or used presents for her kids.
First of all, honey, you do what you gotta do. You know what?
Yeah.
Fuck them if they don't like it. I'm sorry for swearing for those who are new to the channel that came in for Thriftmas. Apologize, but screw
Merry
them.
fucking Thriftmas.
Screw them, because you're doing the best you can do. And I'm not, and they're looking down their nose at it. I'm telling you, it can work very well. I have done it. My son, Squid King's first Godzilla figures.
They're Godzillas, yes.
Godzillas.
Vinyls.
I found at Goodwill, and I didn't have money, so I went into Goodwill and I found him those, and he loved them so much, and that kicked off his years long obsession with Godzilla. He already liked the movies and stuff for Ultraman, but this put him on the path to Godzilla too, and it was from a thrift store find, and they were like 50 cents.
Yeah, and he loves them. He still has them.
Nothing wrong with it.
No. So let's take a look at her TikTok video. And then we'll talk about the backlash.
$100 for Christmas for our 4 children. Is that insane? Probably. But we refuse to go into debt over Christmas, and we really want to go on a nice vacation next year.
Okay.
And I feel like with how expensive everything is, you almost can't have both.
Yes.
And we would rather travel. So Thriftmas is what we're doing in this year. We did it last year, but I didn't really keep track too much. But this year, I really want to keep track of it because I think that's important. So I went thrifting today after my chiropractor appointment. I believe it's called All Good Things in Grove City, PA.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Grove City, PA.
I really love to get these types of things for my kids. And it has the complete alphabet in it. So
Aw, that's
I'm not
cute.
sure who this is gonna go to, but either my 4-year-old or my 2-year-old. This jewelry box is for my 10-year-old, and it
That's
plays
beautiful.
the music and still spins. I'm gonna
See, here's
throw
the thing.
some
Here's the
jewelry
thing,
to put in here as
too.
well.
You know, I think you can pause it or not. Here's the thing, too. When it comes to this stuff like jewelry boxes and stuff, they don't come in boxes usually anyway. And
No.
I see them all the time in like beautiful condition at thrift stores because people didn't want them and stuff. And you can't tell they weren't like, when I got my jewelry box as a kid, it didn't come in a box or anything.
Yeah, a lot of times they don't. I bought you the Han Mansion one. That didn't come in a box. It was just
No,
it was
but
like
that
a-
was you bought new. But I'm just saying, it's like you literally. I have seen, no kidding, Imagine Next troll sets, brand new and packaged, just like a couple weeks ago. I've seen, all kinds of dolls that they had Disney princess dolls in package. I just saw that like last week. So if you go and you look, and garage sales too, you can find really nice things that might be complete or even in package still at the thrift store.
Yeah, I mean, this happens a lot. It used to happen a lot more often. Now what happens is, I know that a lot of the Goodwills, the good stuff goes out the back door and they put it on eBay.
They put it on eBay, yeah. But even then, I mean, if you check their it's a shop, goodwill.com, sometimes you could score deals there too.
That's true. That's true. Okay, let's see. So is she talking $100 per kid, or is she talking $100?
25 per kid, which I think that's too low,
That's-
in my opinion. But you know what? It's not my place to judge.
That's
They're
true.
going on a big trip next year, and they want to make sure their kids have some presents to open, but they're getting experiences that might cost a lot, and they're not going to go to debt because they want to be able to take them and do things, but not bankrupt themselves doing it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You can even make stuff, which I'll talk about when she's done.
And these kids are her too, so they're like,
Yeah,
you know,
her 10-year-old's older, but yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It's in really good condition. I spent $4.50 on this. Oh, the alphabet thing, I spent $3. This was in such good condition.
Oh,
it's
that's
a
cute.
3T for my 2-year-old, but it has the unicorn on the hood. I thought this was perfect. This was $2. I need to try to find the little leapfrog thing for this. If I don't find it, I will probably put some money towards getting it so that my 2-year-old can actually use this.
Well, yeah.
Or we can just read it. This one was $2.50.
Okay.
My 10-year-old is all about reading, so
Horse Diaries.
You can find all kinds of
This was
beautiful
50
condition
cents.
books.
I hope I just gotta jump in here. I hope Horse Diaries isn't actually a romanticy book.
Like the Minotaur one.
Yeah, like the Minotaur book, because that would be really awkward. Like, I thought it was about little girls riding a horse. I didn't know it was about girls riding a horse.
Well, the book thing too, like you can go to garage sales again, and you can go to thrift stores, and you can find books in beautiful condition. Like people get them at like the Scholastic Book Fair, and they don't read them. I find like new stuff all the time. My son was into different book series. Now I would have to go online to find them, but you can get them like used from other bookstores, and some of them that's all you could find was these copies. And he was thrilled to death to have it. He didn't even care because he knew it was hard to get.
I really like that thrift store because all the children's books are 50 cents, and
Oh, Grove City's
can't really
great.
find them anywhere for that anymore other than that place. And then for my 2-year-old, this grocery shopping cart.
There you
It's
go.
so funny because I've almost bought these brand new for my 2-year-old, even though I don't like to shop brand new. I don't know why I've even considered it. But I'm going to find some ways to put some groceries in here. I might even get creative and try to use some of our grocery boxes that we have in the house already.
No, yeah, there you go. It's
Totally.
like playing with real stuff. I know our kids when they were little, they used to play with a Tupperware. It's
Well,
play with
I made
Tupperware.
our kids cheap felt. You go get sheets of felt
Oh,
at
yeah,
at Walmart or wherever, and I used to make them felt food and stuff like that out of it using hot glue, or I'd sew it a lot of times. But you can use fabric glue, hot glue, and stuff, and make bacon you make it the dark brown, and put some of the light colored brown as stripes and stuff. I made them eggs. I made them little lettuce salads and stuff like that. Pasta. You could take just a little square, and then you pinch the middle and you stitch it together, and it makes a bow tie pasta and things like that, and the little meatballs, and they loved it, and it wasn't expensive.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do, especially when they're younger. I think it's almost more with kids, if you're doing the Santa Claus thing, I think it's almost a little more magical. If it looks like it was a handmade something, oh, look, the elves actually made it themselves. It wasn't made in a sweatshop overseas. Yay.
Homemade cheap, whatever. I don't care. and then not included
Wait, what's
or
that?
counted towards Christmas because they're not gifts. I ended up with this little tea set for my trinket shelves. I have like 5 trinkets.
So she's basically just going on about stuff, but people are slamming the shit out of her, I guess.
Which is wrong. I mean, like, so what? Let her do what she's gonna do. Like, I know she did about the little unicorn hoodie. I remember at the same time I found the Godzilla figures because we didn't have money, and at the same time I found the Godzilla figures, I found it was like a little petty, like a petty skirt, like a pink, like frilly tutu looking petty skirt for under dresses or whatever. And I bought it because I thought our daughter, and then a couple of things, a little furry vest and a couple of things like on the 50-cent sale, because I thought our daughter would like it for dress up. She loved them. She wore them until she couldn't wear them anymore. She just thought they were the greatest things ever, and she had no idea, nor did she care.
Yeah, and that's it. When they're younger, especially, it's it's always hard. I mean, like I said, that 1 year when I got laid off, that was awful. We really got blindsided by that. But when your kids are asking for more expensive things, and you have to find creative ways to get it, then the thing really sucks. It's like, oh yeah, my friend got this really expensive thing I wanted, and Santa gave it to him. What's wrong with Santa? What'd you do? Why did Santa not come to our house like they're supposed to?
Santa always came, but
yeah, Santa,
and I did buy stuff new, but I would wait until they had like the big sales on Amazon, like the beginning of December, and you could get things really good deals on things.
They used to do really good deals. I remember Amazon was on, it was like, $50 toys for like $5.
It was, and I'd buy stuff there. But one thing I used to do too is they would do clearance at the Goodwills around here, where they'd be at the time like 75 cents or 50 cents or whatever for clearance. And I would go in and I'd find nice clothes and stuff that I liked or patterns I liked, buy them on clearance, and then I'd take them home, tear them apart, and I'd use it to make doll clothes. I could make all kinds of American Girl doll clothes because she had American Girl dolls. I got them used and I could fix them up. And she had some new ones too from family and stuff. But I would make her doll clothes. You could take sweaters and you could turn them into mittens for anybody. Adults, kids, grown-ups. There's all kinds of tutorials all over the internet where you can go use thrifted items. And if you just with a little bit of, some skill, you don't even have to have, there's different levels of skill necessary for these things. You could turn them into total practical gifts that look brand new for family and friends, and it doesn't cost you much of anything, and it's not hard to do.
So here are some of the comments. You knew Christmas was coming all year. Learn to budget it in.
I think they're budgeting their money. I think they're budgeting their money for that trip.
Yeah. People need to stop having kids if they can't afford them. OMG.
Oh my God. Things happen, right? Like you might be able to afford your kids when you had them, but then especially now with the economy taking a shit, that stuff happens, people lose their jobs. And then maybe that money that they were saving for Christmas all year long is keeping their heat on or is paying for their car so they don't lose their car. Then maybe that money is, that they would normally spend on Christmas presents is making sure that their kids have their coats this year or something like that. That's a really judgy comment to make when you don't know what's going on. Now in her case, they said that they just don't like doing the new stuff. They don't want to go to debt and they're going to have a trip. But there's a lot of people who are losing their jobs and they're trying to get creative with it. And there's nothing wrong with it. My kids they insist on having a handmade gift every year. If they don't get a handmade gift from mom, they feel bad.
That is true. That is 100% true. I can vouch for that. They do. It's really bad this year, guys. Like I can't, and I'm not trying to, bring down the holidays or anything like that, but
there's nothing wrong with any of this.
I'm just telling you the last time things felt like this to me were like 2008. Like it feels like there's, and there's so many people that are going to be out of work this year. And, you can play the blame game all you want, whatever. It doesn't change the fact that there are people out of work for whatever reason. And there are a lot of them. And I was kind of like, oh, look, they're just right sizing. They're getting rid of some people that are troublemakers, whatever. And now I'm like, no, they're getting rid of people that have been there for like 20 years, 30 years.
Yeah, well, that's because the AI originally it started out as right sizing, getting rid of the troublemakers. But then with the AI, they're without waiting to see if it works.
Yeah, and we're finding out it doesn't. I mean, I was talking in another video, but I was looking up married musical acts that broke up, after they got divorced, right? Because Arcade Fire, they're getting divorced, but supposedly the band's going to go on. I'm like, yeah, sure, jam, whatever. And it gave me Simon Garfunkel. Simon Garfunkel apparently got divorced. Did you know that?
Remember that big divorce?
That big divorce when Simon Garfunkel got, and this was Google AI. It was AI snippets at the top of the page. Oh yeah, one of the most famous breakups in history, Simon and Garfunkel. But they continued to tour together sometimes after the divorce. I'm like, what the hell are you on? Yeah, let's just put that. I mean, granted, that's better than some journalists, but yeah, things are gonna be really tight. We had a bunch of government workers off for a while. Again, people can argue whether or not they deserve to be, whatever. It doesn't change the fact that their money is going to be incredibly tight this year.
Yeah, and there's no shame in any of this.
There's no shame in that.
If you know what you're doing, like, there was times we did this, we buy presents for people because it was like new stuff. And my family knew the situation we're in, and they told us we didn't have to buy them anything. And then we'd make sure we'd find things that we knew they'd like and they would use. And my family's not averse to that kind of stuff anyway, because, my dad's the one who showed me how to do the garage sales and all that stuff anyway. They thought they were fine with it because they're like, this is great. And they have no problem with it. And then you can make stuff. There's all kinds of tutorials all over the internet where you can't go get a t-shirt, at a thrift or wherever, but if it's a nice t-shirt that has the right things, you can make t-shirts for people. You just get, sometimes you can even find the iron-on transfers that you can print out at the thrift store. Yeah. If you look, you can find this stuff. Big sales, you might be able to find the pieces to make things. There's nothing wrong with it. And if people want to judge you for it, that's on them. That, if they want to go into debt and they have the money for it, cool. Maybe another year you'll have the money for it. But there's nothing wrong with thrifting at all for Christmas. I've done it. I'm not going to judge anybody else who has had to do it.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. Garage sales and stuff. You go to a toy show, you buy toys or secondhand usually.
It doesn't. I think the thing that gets me about that, and again, this is, to go back to, the hows and the whys, is that people blame themselves a lot of times when they get laid off, and when the economy is in the state that's in right now, like there's really no blame, and there's blame, but there's no shame in it, because there are a lot of people at work. I remember sitting down and we had to it was kind of a good lesson, like with her daughter. She was really into American Girl dolls, and she watched the Kit movie, and her dad was a business owner. He had a car dealership, and they were pretty well off, right? And then the Depression happened, and her dad had to go to try to find a job somewhere, and she was kind of shocked to see him like in the soup kitchen line. That's how far they had to like rent their house out, all this stuff. And it's like, look, I'm not saying it's grapes of wrath or anything right now, but what I'm saying is when times are tough, you do what you got to do to get through.
And ironically, she got a Kit doll for her birthday, which was used, and she got Kit's Kitchen, which I also got secondhand.
That's right, it was, yeah. She really wanted Kit, and she couldn't.
At the time, what was the one that you could always go to? You could Craigslist.
Craigslist, yeah, I remember that. She really that was during the layoff, and she wanted an American Girl doll. Well, back then they were like 150 freaking bucks.
They weren't that much, but they were like 120. I think they're 110 now. But yeah.
And we're like, yeah, we can't really justify that plus she was so young too. It was like,
we wanted to make sure she didn't ruin it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it's going to be a stretch to pay $120 for a doll and then have her ruin it. But yeah, it was tight. And it was like, yeah, it went from being like, and this happens. I learned
how to fix dolls. Like I learned, there's different things you can do for American Girl dolls, like their joints are loose, or there's different things you can do to, clean up, restuff them, fix different things. And I learned how to do it. I did it for years, doing it for, we would get dolls and she and I would get dolls and we'd fix them up and give them to kids in need. And a lot of her dolls were ones we fixed, but I learned how. And then I took a doll that wasn't very expensive and I fixed her all up, and that's what she got. And she was thrilled to death.
I think we have gotten to a place, and this is the problem, where material things don't mean as much, especially like even gifts that kids are getting. When you have a lot, none of it means as much to you, right? And think back to when we were kids, if we didn't get as much stuff, like those toys you got for Christmas meant a lot more because you didn't know when you were getting it. It was usually your birthday.
Yeah, we
Christmas.
Only got, yeah.
If you're freaking Dudley from Harry Potter and you're getting, piles of stuff every day or every other day, like it's not going to mean anything to you, right? A well thought out, handcrafted gift or refurbished gift or something that just, you put some thought into it is going to mean more, I think, to your kids or, whoever than just, I went to, the store and bought this thing and put it on my credit card and whatever. Part of me feels like maybe in some way we need to go back to that, especially at Christmas, given what Christmas is about. It's kind of appalling to have that be the most materialistic, greediest time of the year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's about the birth of
thrifting
Jesus, and we're just
keeps
like,
stuff out of the landfills too and stuff like that. you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
It's really easy to learn how to do things like crochet or knit and things like that. It's really easy to learn this stuff. Not for everybody, but I'm sure if you can't learn that, there's other things you can learn. You can get yarn and all that crap at the thrift store too. Ours has it all the time. And if you wait for sale days, you can get it for practically nothing.
And
So
a lot of younger people are thrifting now anyway.
Yes, they're doing it themselves. Yes.
And I think my biggest thing, you're talking about landfills and stuff. My biggest thing is just how disposable everything is in our society, and the fact that appliances, even like you buy a refrigerator, you're lucky if you get 5 or 6 years out of it before you gotta go buy another one.
Like 10, but yeah.
Well, if you're lucky, but I'm like, Maytags that were made, Whirlpools that were made back in the 50s and 60s, they still run. Still run.
Back to the stuff you're saying about younger people too. They're all into the 80s and 90s stuff. And there's a lot of clothing and stuff that from the 80s and 90s that they're like, oh my gosh, like I wish I had this because it looks like this. Or, there's different pieces people are finding and it's worth a small fortune, even though you would think that's junk. But, you can find that at the thrift store. They're all into retro gaming. Now, a lot of people are buying that crap up and flipping it for high dollar. But you might be lucky and you might score some of that stuff. I've scored games before at the thrift store. Or garage sales, or check your local, Facebook marketplaces or things like that. People might just be selling it cheap because they don't know. Ask around, see if your friends have anything left at their house. Like, do you guys have these games or anything? Or do you have any more of this stuff? You might be able to barter even for stuff. There's all kinds of things. Craft shows. You can get all kinds of really cool stuff at craft shows for not very much money. Or you can sell your stuff at craft shows, make extra money to buy stuff. There's so many different things you can do, and there's no shame in any of it. And if they're going to shame you, you tell them to go talk to me.
You're going to change your name to Thrifty Sparkles. There you go.
You don't understand. Like I don't care how much money I have. I've always been like that. And there's not, and I buy new stuff too. I mean, I'm not saying I don't, but if there's something that's good, why pay full price? We don't have to.
Yeah, actually, this is one of the things that we kind of fight about. But like, I my thing is like, Geeky here is out trying to save the world. She's like, let's cut the soda 6-pack ring. So
I'm not seeing any sea turtles getting hurt or ducks or anything getting hurt.
Let's upcycle. You've actually upcycled like soda bottles and stuff like that.
Turn them into
bracelets and stuff like that. And me, I'm just kind of like, I don't want to deal with it. Just throw it out, buy another one.
I'm not like those crunchy earth people by any means, but I mean, I do try to do my part, and if you can, do it.
I got to watch that though, kind of with myself, because I just get to the point where I'm like, people pay for convenience, and it's very easy to just be like, yeah, just, throw it out, get another one, whatever.
Well, some people don't have the money for that, and there's nothing wrong with it. And you have the money for it, you can keep more money.
Unfortunately, they make, like back to the appliances and just the stuff that we make now, like repair shops used to be a thing.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think there are repair shops now. Now people are just like, again, even cars. Right? Cars, like last year I got in an accident. We talked about it. Unfortunately, I wrecked Geeky's car. I normally don't drive her car, but I took it. It wasn't his
fault. Someone ran a red light.
Somebody ran a red light, and thank God we're okay. And my daughter didn't get killed because she was on that side of the car, on the passenger side. I still think about that. She still thinks about that. But I was just so surprised because my grandfather had an auto body shop, a repair shop, right? And I looked at the damage. I'm like, you can pull that out, whatever. They're like, no, just throw it out. Throw that car out.
Well, I think the radiator got twisted. Honey.
Yeah, I know,
I don't think it was going to be.
Okay, but my grandpa, like he would like they'd move heaven and earth to fix these cars. My uncle had a repair shop. He used to fix appliances, and he used to fix.
My dad used to fix computers and game systems and stuff.
Pinball tables. My uncle was really big into refurbishing pinball tables, and I mean that kind of stuff. Yeah, you gotta find somebody that knows what they're doing, but like people used to fix stuff. Sesame Street, Louise had the Fix-It shop, right? People used to fix the stuff instead of throwing it out. Now we just throw everything out. Mm-hmm. It clogged up the landfills, and the stuff is made cheap. I'd rather pay twice as much for something I'm going to have for 30 years than,
well, that's just it. A lot of people, like, the things could be, like, redone. They just throw it away, and it's like, but you can refix that, and it's made better than what they're made today.
You've rehaired dolls.
I've rehaired dolls. I've redone furniture. I've done, you name it, I've probably done it. And even when I didn't need to, I just did it because, why pay more when you don't have to? But anyway, we're going to have to wrap this up because we still have other videos to do, and it's getting late because Stranger Things is tonight, and you're supposed to watch it with our son, so...
All right, so we're going to wrap this one up, guys. There you go. What are your favorite tips for saving money at Christmas? I think a lot of people are going to need to hear that this year, so leave a comment. And let us know.
That's a good idea, and that might help other people.
Yeah, there you go, guys. All right, so please subscribe. We'll talk later.
Bye.